Now, as Ballarat has gone into lockdown in Victoria, the ACT's lockdown's been extended, the curfew's been lifted in the western suburbs of Sydney, and the New South Wales government is powering ahead with plans to reopen parts of the economy. Once the state hits 70% double vaccination, that's probably 3 or 4 weeks away. It's welcome news for pubs and clubs who have been forced to shut their doors for months, of course. 20% of clubs, though, are on the brink of bankruptcy, losing an average of 120 grand a week. The next big challenge is going to be navigating vaccine passports and the rules around reopening and unvaccinated customers.
And we will have the vaccination passport in New South Wales when we hit 70% double dose. So you'll be able to check into a venue with your QR code and also see whether or not you're vaccinated. And that's really, really important. All of us are looking forward to that time, but all of us are in uncharted territory. The government, we will need to seek legal advice ourselves. This is uncharted territory, but what we're doing is providing as much certainty as possible.
Josh Landis is the CEO of Clubs New South Wales. Thanks for joining us, Josh.
Thanks, Chris.
You must be excited about reopening, but effectively you're just going to have people at the door and QR codes stopping anyone from coming into a club if they're not fully vaccinated.
Well, we're hugely excited about reopening, and in fact, having those people on the door, checking people's ID and making sure they're eligible to come in is what clubs do every single day. So we are uniquely ready and willing to be able to check their ID, check their COVID-safe check-in, and check their vaccination certificate. If that's what we've got to do, we're more than happy to do it. And if that means we can reopen next month and welcome all you good people back into the club, then we're just so excited.
Is that going to happen? Is that the clarity you've got? You'll be able to open up for meals and drinks. What about pokey parlours and the rest of it? Do you know exactly what you're going to be able to do?
So we've been told that we will be reopening when we hit the 70% vaccination rate. And so we're getting ready to do it because, as you said right at the top, if we don't, then we're in very big trouble financially. And it's been 12 weeks already, another few weeks to go. It'll be 4 months of closure. That's a long time with no revenue. So we're looking forward to reopening. We're going to reopen with only vaccinated people and vaccinated staff to start with. But it's something, and something is a whole lot better than nothing.
Now, are any clubs in jeopardy? I mean, most of these are associated with community groups or sporting groups. What happens with that lack of cash flow? There's no chance any of them would close down, is there? You might have to open up on a smaller scale?
Well, it's a huge risk that some might close down, Chris, and that's what happens when you've been closed for 4 months. And you've had no revenue, and the government support just doesn't touch the sides. I mean, you said, and you're right, from our survey, clubs on average are losing $120,000 a week through this closure. Some losing more than $1 million a week, $1 million a week through this closure, and that's after government assistance. You can't survive long like that. The reality is after 16 weeks then, that's going to be $16 million. Of course they're running out of cash. They need to get open. And the sooner they can do so, look, the community is going to be strongly vaccinated. We'll be able to welcome people in. We'll be able to provide food and drinks and gaming and all the things that we used to do. And so we encourage the public to come back because, as you said, community groups, charities, sporting groups rely on our clubs. And if you want your community to get back to normal, then you need to come back and support the club as a priority.
Yeah, the vaccination rates are great and they're getting better every day. And I think you're right, but I think people will be really keen to get back to their clubs. Let's hope so. Thanks for joining us, Josh. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.